Well, hi there, everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Wednesday morning. I almost forgot what day it is. Wednesday morning here, October 22nd. And this is a graphic, eventually we're not going to be using this very much anymore here as we start to get more of these near and sub-freezing temperatures here. But until it truly falls below freezing everywhere, we're still going to see these issued. So I could see these issued again tomorrow morning in many locations. Now, again, there are many counties now in the northern and western part of the state no longer in any frost advisories or freeze warnings. All of these areas have fallen below freezing, and so there's no longer a need to issue out frost warnings or freeze advisories for the rest of this year. Maybe next spring, that would be the next time we would see them. But areas that haven't truly fallen below freezing yet and are seeing more in the way of frosty conditions, we've got a frost advisory till 10 a.m. I think we could see another one of those issued for tonight and tomorrow morning. And then a freeze warning in northeast Nebraska. There have been some places that have fallen into the 20s this morning here. That goes until 9 o'clock this morning. It's going to be a quiet day of weather today. Lots of sunshine. Winds are pretty light this morning. They'll pick up a little bit today in these areas here. These northeastern areas. That's where winds will be about 5 to 15 miles per hour. But notice that clockwise spin. That's kind of high pressure building in from the west. So the closer you get to that, we're talking about very light winds right in here today. So a little bit of a breeze here, lighter winds as you go back towards the west. Tonight, those light winds settle in over the area, so this is going to lead to another chilly night. A few thin clouds begin to build in, but we're still going to see a good amount of sunshine as we head into your Thursday. Now, a little chilly to start, but once again, another nice afternoon on the way. So the next two afternoons might be the nicest afternoons we see for a while. This time tomorrow, though, as we get to tomorrow afternoon, we start to pick up on more of a southeasterly wind, and it will actually be stronger the farther west that you go. So a little lighter to the east because our high is basically right about there. Okay, so that can give you look at those wind directions. The light winds are closer to high pressure. High pressure clockwise spin, lighter the closer you get. Whereas with low pressure counterclockwise spin, and you can get some strong winds with low pressure. Heading into tomorrow night, increasing cloud cover. This is going to keep our temperatures up. We may even start to see a little bit of rain return to the area here, although right now I would really be focused on southern and southeastern areas for the majority of the rain that we'll see with this late week system. The farther northwest you go, the more clearing you're going to see. The farther southeast you go, a little more rain possible. Most of us will not see much rain for the end of the week. Let's take a look at temperatures for today. Topping out in the 60s after this chilly start. Anywhere between about 60 up north and 70 in the south. A beautiful afternoon on the way. Should be one of those really nice late October days out there. Tonight, though, back down into the freezing category for some here. Before we get to that, though, let's look at those highs for today. Maybe upper 50s around Springview, but they're in Kippawa County, but otherwise right on 60. Spencer, Atkinson, Ainsworth, 61 Valentine, 65 for Arthur, 64 Stapleton, Ord, 63 in Taylor and Brewster. Southwestern areas will go 67 in Curtis, 69 for Cambridge, 71. Phillipsburg, some really nice weather today right in here. 65 for Central Sherman County there in Loop City. And then as we look towards southeastern areas, mid to upper 60s, even right around 70 degrees near the Nebraska and Kansas border. 66 in Seward and Wahoo, 68 Tecumseh, 68 as well in Sutton, 67 for Grand Island. Northeastern areas, low to mid 60s for afternoon highs, plenty of sunshine. A little bit of a breeze. Again, we're going to have that 5 to 15 mile per hour wind there in those areas out of the northwest. Now we'll move on to tonight. Lows dipping down into the low and mid 30s. I think we'll probably see a few spots that'll fall into the 20s once again like we have this morning here. So again, probably going to see frost advisories for those areas that haven't fallen below freezing yet. And then tomorrow, another nice afternoon. Highs back up into the 60s in most locations, mid 60s pretty common. So we'll look at tomorrow night, not as cold. Those clouds on the increase, that's going to keep those temperatures up, mid 30s to mid 40s. Warmer the farther southeast you go with the thickest clouds here. More clearing, colder to the northwest. Friday, we reverse it. Thicker clouds in the southeast means cooler to the southeast. More sunshine to the northwest means warmer to the northwest. So more clouds and maybe a little bit of rain right in here on Friday. Looking at Friday night into Saturday morning, a milder night. Most of us will stay in the 40s for lows. Some clouds around on Saturday. Now there will be more sun the farther west you go, so a little warmer here. but more clouds to the east, more in the way of upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Probably close to 60 for the Husker game, maybe 50s in the morning there, but mostly cloudy skies in Lincoln for the Husker game. No official Husker forecast yet, but I'll just tell you right now, the weather looks quiet. Quiet, cool weather, more clouds than sun in Lincoln on Saturday. Long range. We've got this general decrease in high temperatures as we head towards the end of the week, but the low temperatures will start to get warmer. So we see those kind of squeeze together, where there won't be as much of what we call a diurnal range as we get into the end of the week, and that's because of cloud cover. Cloud cover usually keeps those temperatures a little bit closer together than clear skies. Threw in a small chance of rain on Friday. I'm not expecting much. Monday, on the other hand, a better chance of rain will return to the area, some of which may linger into Tuesday. This might be the best chance of rain we have for the next at least 2 weeks, because I don't see a whole lot after early next week. But again, we do trend a little cooler. Long range, temperatures might sneak up a little bit, but it looks like for the end of October, we're probably still talking about mostly mid and upper 50s. There are signs that maybe the first day of November, we could be back into the 60s here, a little bit of a trend upward here. So, in fact, and I'll show you in just a bit, the Climate Prediction Center is putting us in the above average category, which by Halloween or November 1st, our average high is about 59-ish. So, pretty close to average, I think, by that point here. North Platte, you will also see the trend downward, but it'll be a slower trend downward, and I'll explain why in just a bit. Meanwhile, the lows will trend upward. Still kind of chilly these next couple of nights, but those will improve. As the cloud cover thickens up, we get warmer nights. Might still see some low 60s Friday and Saturday. There's going to be just a little bit more sunshine than the Tri-Cities area, but eventually we do sneak in those 50s a little bit more. I did not have rain in the forecast now for Friday. I took it out for North Platte. Monday, on the other hand, a 50-50 chance of some rain right now. I think we've got at least a chance here, maybe a slight chance into Tuesday. One thing to watch is any rain going to linger into Monday night? Will it get cold enough? I've kind of talked about it the last couple of days, the potential for maybe a mix of precipitation. Right now, I'm not ready to go there. And most models don't hint at it, but it's something we'll keep an eye on as we get a little bit closer to see if that becomes more of a threat. Long range, just like the Tri-Cities, mostly 50s through the end of October. I do think we see a slight trend upward as we move it to the end of October into early November. And in fact, the Climate Prediction Center has us on the edge of that above average temperatures. And again, average by end of October, early November is basically right around 58 to 60 degrees. So I think we'll be sitting at maybe those upper 50s to right around to the lower 60s during that time frame. Meanwhile, this is going past Monday's rain now. Once we get into the end of October, early November, I agree with this. I think we will be on the dry side. We basically see all of the storm systems kind of go this direction and then go that way. And we're going to get a huge dome of high pressure kind of trying to warm us up and keep us on the dry side here. Most of the middle part of the country looking pretty dry into early November. In fact, taking a look at the long range here, let's look at Friday real quick here. And again, the European model keeps most of the rain over far southern areas, and it's not much on Friday. Friday night football right here, still a little light rain in southern Nebraska, northern Kansas, and then everything. But notice all the rain, most of the rain is down in Kansas and Oklahoma. We'll keep most of it off to our south. But the clouds sticking around on Saturday. Western areas, maybe a little more sun. Again, Sunday, still some clouds around, so that's going to keep us cooler. And then here comes that rain as we get towards Sunday night into Monday. It's our best chance of rain in the forecast here. But right now, I am not targeting any mixed precipitation or snow. Might be a chilly rain, but I don't think we'll see much there. I did keep a slight chance of rain into Tuesday. The European is more aggressive with it than the GFS model is. Once we get past that, though, it's a pretty dry forecast. There are some minimal chances in here, but I just don't see a whole lot right into the first day of November there. That's Saturday, November 1st. So once we get beyond early next week, our rain chances really, I think, cut off for the most part. Looking at the GFS model, let's jump ahead to Friday. Here's that rain late Thursday night into Friday. Notice again, mostly focused in Kansas and Oklahoma. A little bit of rain will be possible in southern areas, but I just don't think we'll see a whole lot. Friday night, that will start to move on out. The weekend, Saturday here. Let's jump back to Saturday, right? Let's go midday Saturday. Notice western and northwestern areas, a little more sun, a little bit warmer. That's why North Platte still could get to the 60s, whereas Tri-Cities, it may be tough to get to 60 degrees. Sunday, more clouds, Still maybe a little rain in the southeast. The GFS is different than the European when it comes to this. I have not included any rain for our area, but we'll see how that system moves. Again, it looks like a slower mover according to the GFS model. But then here comes our next moisture maker, a better chance on Monday. There's our showers. Might linger into Monday night, but this model doesn't have as much into Tuesday here. Once we get past early next week, again, we just don't have a whole lot in our area. All the way through Halloween. Here's Halloween. Doesn't look like anything significant. And then November 1st. And I do think, again, we start to maybe trend a little warmer towards the beginning of November here. Let's look at the long-term temperature trends. And again, here comes we'll show you the cool down as we get into the weekend, just with the clouds around Sunday, and then more so into Monday with the rain. And then as we get further into next week, it does look like it starts to warm up here, but maybe not too much. We'll see. You know, we keep getting these little shots of cooler air that will try to prevent us from really getting a big warm up. That's why these next couple of days are important. These next 2 days probably the nicest weather we see for the rest of this month anyway. Here comes that cooler weather this weekend with the clouds, and eventually the rain will bring us even cooler yet Monday, and maybe even Tuesday. And then as we get further into next week, I do think we do trend a little bit warmer. The GFS model is a little more aggressive with the warm up here. But maybe another shot of cooler air there around Halloween into November 1st. So there's still a little bit of up and down on how exactly things will play out yet when it comes to the Halloween time frame. Moisture chance is not looking great, though. So, again, I think trick-or-treating should be okay at least. But, again, it's 9 days out. We'll get that figured out as we get a little bit closer. Well, I want to thank you all for watching on this Wednesday morning. I'll be back with you in just I'll be back with you tomorrow on your Thursday morning forecast. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy the weather later today. It looks pretty good. Talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.